Hello there, boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining me once again here on Talk and Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. We're going to go through a few of the results from the recent fights that took place over in the UK, mainly, I think, and one that took place in the US. We're going to start off with a young lady who was profiled by Mike Orr on his show Knuckle Up last week. Check it out on talkandfight.com. Kirsty Bavington. And we all wondered whether she was able to defeat the German Naomi Mans. Well, she did. Kirsty Bavington, Bavo, as she's known, defended her EBU welterweight title in style with unanimous points win over Germany's Naomi Mans. Bavington topped the Fight Zone bill at Rotherham's Magna Center and did not disappoint. Women's boxing is flying at the moment, and the 30-year-old is surely the next big star off the production line. The BCB Promotions managed and trained fighter schooled Mans, who came into the contest unbeaten and with a reputation with heavy hands, and after 4 knockout wins from her 6 fights to date. Looks like she was in trouble from the start because that mattered little to Wolverhampton's Bavo, who dominated the contest from the first bell to the last. Bavington retained her European crown with a unanimous points win, 97-93 on 2 cards and 99-91 on the third. In another fight that night, Owen Cooper, also out of the BCB farm, took on Jamie Stewart, and Owen Cooper became the new Midlands area champion, and as he put on a boxing clinic to defeat Jamie Stewart in the process on Frank Warren's BT Sports Show. BCB Promotions managed Cooper, scored a 5th round knockdown on the way to a dominant decision victory over the International Center in Telford. Also on that fight, Macaulay Owen extended his record to 5-0 with decision victory against fellow lightweight Eduardo Valverde on Frank Warren's BT Sports Show at the International Center in Telford. BCB Promotions manager Owens made a perfect start in his hometown, sending his Spanish adversary to the canvas midway through the opening round thanks to a beautiful straight left hand. The Spaniard remained defiant, though, throughout the evening and showed some serious toughness to make it through to the final bell as he continued to be met by a barrage of shots from the young fighter. Owens, trained by Shiny Singh, started by targeting the body of his opponent in the later rounds, and he had success doing so, with the Nicaraguan-born Valverde's grimaces worsening with each shot that he landed. Wow. So check that out. I'm sure it's on YouTube for all you to go watch. British Super Bantamweight champion Liam Davies added the European and WBC international titles to his ever-increasing CV by outclassing Ayunut Baluta over 12 rounds over in Telford. Davies was a dominant force throughout the fight, pitching his tactics to perfection and frustrating the wayward Baluta, who simply couldn't effectively get himself into range. The long jab of Davies worked overtime, and he measured his distance to keep the Romanian out of range. The Telford favorite was tidy and well-drilled, while Baluta resorted to wild swings that rarely came close to the target. Said the new double champion, "It is amazing and another step in my career. I'm 13 fights in, and I've won the English, the WBC, British, and European titles. I've got to give myself credit, but I'll be back in the gym soon, and I've conquered Britain. I've conquered Europe, and now let's go for the world with BT behind me. Why not?" Good for him. This is also Anthony Yarde's utter destruction of Stephanie Koikov, and he's now booked and confirmed for January 28th date with unified world lightweight heavyweight champ Artur Beterbiev, as I said, and that follows in his 3rd round destruction of Koikov. So the OVO Arena, Wembley, will stage Yarde's next night of destiny, but he had to find a way past a tough customer in Koikov, who didn't hide and came to trade. Yarde, however, became more fluent and accurate with each passing minute, and a big right uppercut in the third resulted in being down and out for the German. The timing of Yarde's 22nd victory via KO was 2 minutes, 31 seconds, and now a big Wembley night on BT Sport awaits. As we mentioned last week, a few names just to let you know how they unfolded here. The results: Ethan James successfully moved to 10-0 after a barnstorming encounter with Keenan Wainwright. Confident light heavyweight Ezra Taylor is now 4-0, and he was untroubled by late opponent Mohamed Benchadi out of France. Dubliner Willow Hayden eased to victory over rounds against Miriam Estrada, adopting a patient approach to overcome the Romanian by a margin of 60-54, adjusted by referee Christine. Hayden moves to 5-0 in the pro ranks. Liverpool super bantamweight Brad Strand put Darwin Martinez to the canvas on his way to a 59-54 victory that takes him now to 9-0 and on the cusp of title contention. York super welterweight prospect George Davey took his record to 6-0-1 with a career-first stoppage of Paul Cummings in the fourth round. And local lightweight Macaulay Owen also ground his opponent Eduardo Valverde. Oh, but I've already mentioned all this. Forced to go to the sixth-round distance to move to 5-0. Good for him. All righty, let's move along now to Artur Beterbiev. Let's have a quick read. The 175-pound showdown will be shown on BT Sport in the UK, on ESPN Plus in the US. London calls for the light heavyweight king. WBO, WBC, and IBF world champion Artur Beterbiev will defend his belts against the big, punching British challenger Anthony Yarde at the OVO Arena, Wembley, on Saturday, January 28th. The WBO number one contender gets his shot at the Montreal-based Beterbiev, who's 18-0 with 18 knockouts, I might add. Boxing's only world champion with a 100% knockout ratio. He will be fighting professionally in the United Kingdom for the first time, with the highly decorated former amateur having fought in London at the 2012 Olympic Games. Promoted by Frank Warren and Queensberry in association with Top Rank, this huge 175-pound showdown will be shown exclusively in the UK on BT Sport and will be streamed live and exclusively in the US on ESPN Plus. Tickets are on sale through Ticketmaster. Let's have a quick see. We have a quote here from Yarde's promoter, Frank Warren. This will undoubtedly be the biggest challenge of Anthony's career to date, and we've made sure he'll get his the best conditions possible by securing him home advantage. It's going to be a huge occasion at the OVO, which is the same venue where Anthony made his professional debut in May of 2015. Of course, we know a great champion like Beterbiev has no fears of traveling, and virtually all of his biggest wins have come outside of his now home nation of Canada. Boxing is all about timing, and we are hoping the time is right for Anthony to fulfill his huge potential and pull off what would be one of the biggest wins by a British fighter. This is going to be a spectacular show staged in conjunction with our friends at Top Rank, and I'm sure it is an event the public get behind in massive numbers to support Anthony's attempt to achieve his dream. As you might know, Beterbiev won his first world title in November 2017 with a 12-round stoppage of Enrico Koling and defended his IBF belt on two further occasions, including against Britain's Callum Johnson before entering into a unification match against WBC champ Alexander Govcek in October 2019. The Ukrainian puncher Govcek, who was unbeaten at the time, was stopped in the 10th round. Beterbiev defended his titles against Adam Danes and Marcus Brown ahead of a three-belt unification against WBO champ Joe Smith Jr. And in June, that was in June at the Hulu Theater, Madison Square Garden, where the American was stopped in 2 rounds. In the amateur ranks, Beterbiev won silver at the 27 World Championships before striking gold at the 2009 event. He also won gold medals at 2006 and 2010 European Championships. Beterbiev said, "I never backed down from a challenge, and Anthony Yarde is a top contender who asked for this fight. I look forward to fighting in London for the first time since the Olympics. Yarde called me slow after my fight with Joe Smith Jr., but slow and steady wins the race. And on January 28th, I will win in London." So there you go, fight fans. Let's look forward to that one. I'm sure the Brits like Carl are all over it. And let's have a quick look at what happened in Northampton, another BCB promotion here. There was a shock at the top of the bill as Northampton's Dempsey Madden suffered defeat at the fists of Estonia's Dimitri Protkunas. Welterweight Madden stepped up to 6 rounds against Protkunas at the top of BCB Promotions' Friday night fight at the Park Inn in Northampton. The Mauler looked fit and strong after a closer opener, took the second convincingly. He was in control of the fight in the third when Protkunas caught him with a stiff hook that startled Madden. Smelling blood, Protkunas jumped on the 31-year-old and landed 5 thudding rights that saw referee Kevin Parker wave the contest off. It was a surprise result, but Madden, visibly upset, will come again. Elsewhere, Bedford's Michael Stevenson opened the show against Liverpool-based Lithuanian Gennady Gravjeski. The 29-year-old super middleweight stalked his opponent and caught the Baltic bomber with some heavy shots as his 4-rounder progressed. Ringside referee Kevin Parker scored this one 40-36 with trainee Ryan Churchill doing the sterling job in the ring. Northampton's Kai Church debuted at super lightweight against the ever-tough Brett Fido. Church used his height advantage to good effect as he kept the dangerous Fido at bay. Once again, Parker scored this one 40-36, with Churchill overseeing the action in the ring. Fellow super lightweight, who we've mentioned often, Ben Vaughan, stepped into the unknown as he took on Manchester debutant Liam Fox. Northampton's Vaughan worked his way through the gears and did a job on his brave as line opponent. Fox dug in, saw the final bell, despite touching canvas in the third after a number of heavy body shots, and this coupled with another 10-8 round where Vaughan was totally dominant and saw referee Kevin Parker score this one 40-36. Great pictures, by the way, over on boxing247.com. Check it out. Sam Daly put in a measured and composed performance in his homecoming. The Northampton super welterweight fought his opening pro bouts on the road, but returned to his hometown against Angel Imolov. Daly showed his class against the battle-hardened Bulgarian to claim a 39-38 win. And finally, another debutant, Nico Mikhail, stepped in against Birmingham Rice Shoei Taylor. It was a welcome to the pros fight for Michael, as Taylor tied him up and made him miss at every opportunity. Credit to the Northampton super flyweight, though, who stuck to his game plan. Michael took the first 3 rounds, with Taylor coming on strong in the final round, but Parker scored this one 39-37, with Churchill between the ropes. So there you have it. Let's have a quick look here. We'll see what happened over in U.S. after all those UK results. In a rare matchup of 2 undefeated prospects, Stephen Sumter and New Bedford's Edat Papito McPanam put their perfect pro records on the line for the vacant Massachusetts State Light Heavyweight Championship. A southpaw, Sumter was the crowd favorite of the Western Massachusetts crowd. Both fighters were cautious in the opening round, with Sumter opening up in the second, and the third belonged to the more aggressive Sumter. Both fighters let their hands go up in fourth, ending as they pounded each other. More of the same for Sumter in the fifth as he cruised from there for a decisive 8-round unanimous decision to improve to 7-0, 6 knockouts, going the distance for the first time, winning all 8 rounds on one judge's card, 7 on the other 2. McManam, 8-1, 7 knockouts, had trouble throughout the fight getting off as Sumter was a more potent sharpshooter. I went in with a game plan to jab, 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 Sumter said after the fight. Once I realized he couldn't stop my jab, it opened up other things because he was looking for the jab. I feel great. Can't really explain it. Bring this touching his Massachusetts State belt back to Pittsfield is great. Chris Chiatti out of Grant Chin said Denzel had a real breakout fight. Whitley wanted to be tested, and Chris Jacobs did. He fought better as the fight went along. I'm so proud of Steve and Edit. Not a lot of guys around here would have taken on the fight. 2 unbeaten prospects. They went for it and took it to another level. By the way, promising junior middleweight prospect Carlos Castillo, 6-0, 4 knockouts out of Holyoke, Massachusetts, passed the stiffest test of his young career against veteran Hands of Steel Lucky, who failed to answer the belt for round number 5. So a fantastic night of boxing over at Western Massachusetts, presented by Granite Chin Promotions, and it all took place at the MassMutual Center in Springfield. And Holyoke welterweight, by the way, Denzel double impact Whitley and as I said, Pittsfield light heavyweight Steve Sumter headlined that show. As I made mention, Whitley decked Jacobs with a right hook, but Denzel changed Jacobs from one side to the ring to the other, going for the knockout. It didn't come, but Whitley won with a workmanlike 8-round split decision. Surprising because one judge somehow scored 75-75 despite the knockdown. So there you go. Good night of fighting in Massachusetts. Good night of fighting across the weekend over in the UK. And that, my friends, brings me to the end of this particular show. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'll see you later on at 4 p.m. for Mike Gore and Cedric Ben on their show, Knuckle Up.